The video starts as it always does, with Spifflemonk's usual intro, but there is no normal intro. Instead, it opens with Spiffle staring close into the camera, with the goofiest, happiest smile on his face you would ever see. Look! Spiffle excitedly bellows into the camera and tabs into the game. He's finally playing a train game, specifically Railroads Online, and is on the map Lake Valley, with a startup train called the Montezuma. Trains! Spiffle excitedly bellows to the audience as he settles into his usual setup. He can barely contain his excitement as he stammers out his greeting. Great days and glorious victory! It's a train game! My name is Spifflemonk and I am excited! I have been waiting for this since I got killed by my first train in Factorio. Spiffle hops off the platform at the depot and excitedly explores his new surroundings, especially the Montezuma. I was given this game after the time I played Project Zomboid. I do, however, have specific instructions with this game and I have to follow them. Sorry, obligations. I've been looking forward to figuring out how these things work. Whew, the secrets of human industry are about to unravel. Spiff goes into the train and is completely stumped for a bit as he sees what's there. A pile of wood and an oven. Well, where are the fusion engines? Spiffle walks around the train several times in confusion. Is the nuclear reactor inside this tube thing? Nuclear reactors can't possibly be that small. He carefully examines every part and component, slowly piecing together how it works. So the fuel gets into the big tube thing. Then it gets pumped into these pistons connected to the wheels. Then because of the force, the pistons move in a circular pattern, then the wheels move, moving the train. What is the fuel, though? Spiffle carefully looks over the train again, trying to discern what it is. He follows the game's control prompts and tutorials, until he hops into the control cabin. With apprehension, he opens the boiler fuel port and sees what's inside. The viewer can actually see the gears in his head turning. Okay, I have to do something. Please hold. Spiffle tabs out and a funny little in-between sequence plays. The sequence is a short 15-second long fan-made animation, with credit to the animator on the top right of the screen, of Spiffle gaining access to his first flamethrower in Deep Rock Galactic. The screen tabs back and the viewer is a bit scared at the sight of Spiffle's signature death glare straight into the camera, full screen. Steam? Water and wood? You did this with water and wood? Spiffle grabs the camera and angrily rants at it incoherently for a few minutes. He finally stops his angry rant and just resolves himself to play the game. Okay. Let's not think about how stupid we are for not getting this earlier and just go for it. Now, I have some specific stipulations I have to do for this first. The individual who bought this game for me came with some very specific things for me to do while playing it. Spiffle gets a notepad out of a drawer nearby and double-checks his request. I am to first do the basics and put a rail network down so I can connect at least 3 points, primarily the logging camp, sawmill and depot. I can do more if I want. Okay then, M for map. Let's see. Spiff opens the map and a bit of colour drains from his face as he sees the sheer size of the world in front of him. It's a 4-mile journey from logging to mill, then back to the depot in all. He has to lay all the tracks along the way. Oh gods, what have I got myself into? It can't be that bad, can it? Okay, that's doable, I suppose. Now I have to simply play the game and make money, but I have to listen to a special series of mixtapes? What the hell is a mixtape? I have those links bookmarked. They are on GalaTube, apparently. Let me just do that then. The playlists that Spiff brings up are strange and seem disconnected, but there's 3 of them. A synthwave cyberpunk mixtape, Volume 3 specifically, made by the legendary Mr. Suicide Sheep, an epic country blues mix made by Jenny Music, and a retrowave mix made by a smaller obscure channel. I'm starting to wonder if humans are all right in the head. My subscribers specifically. You buy games from me, which, by the way, this one was not cheap. Then the only stipulations you have are for me to record it and listen to music? I find that so strange. So very strange. Then again, zombies, Cthulhu demons, child slave labor to make human liver hats, Mia the rat. Poor Mia. The existence of sheep. I really shouldn't be surprised at this point, should I? Spiffle resumes playing the game at this point, and goes through the painstaking process of laying the track down. He fumbles with the controls until he figures out the degree and gradient system, then figures out how to couple the cars. Just how many of these things can I have on one train? I'm not stupid, so I guess it's how powerful the train's engine is. I'm going to get 2 more of these small ones here and start with a logging camp. Spiffle starts the process of railing cars and buying 2 more small logging cars. After re-railing them and putting them on the right track, in this case the left track closest to the depot, he starts laying track down for real. Tentatively, he places small tracks here and there, just fiddling with the system to figure out how it works. Okay, so this button and that button are to increase gradient. Gradient is the angle of the slope, down or up. So presumably, downhill gradients will increase speed with lower engine power, and I will need high power to go uphill, right? Spiff looks at the camera with a raised brow, as if expecting an answer. He shakes his head and resumes playtesting. Okay, so just like with motor vehicles, I'm guessing that if they turn too fast or too tidily, they flip? I think that's how it works here too, so let's see. No too tight turns, I guess. What's a good, baseline? I believe is the word used. Baseline. Maybe 100-degree turns at most? Spiff tries out the turning system, eventually coming to the conclusion that tight turns for trains are a bad thing, and goes for a varying degree of 80 to 120-degree turn angles for his tracks, setting an absolute minimum of 60-degree turns. Right, that's sorted. I'd say that's very reasonable. I shall hold the music till later. I have more pressing concerns right now. I need to concentrate. Spiffle starts laying track towards the wheat field at first, just to see what happens and what he needs to do. He encounters his first real obstacle. Hills, dips, and bumps. Gods above, this is very bloody fiddly, isn't it? Now maybe a 1% gradient? No. Damn it, that's too little. How about 2%? No! Damn it! Now it goes back up over here. This is going to be very, very bloody fiddly. Spiffle struggles to do his thing, using various track segments to make necessary changes, sometimes making some very silly mistakes, such as failing to notice that certain gradients are dips or bumps, and failing to either go around them or simply bridge across, creating a somewhat bumpy roller coaster type ride. He spends the next hour or so simply laying track to the logging camp for the moment. This was one of the easiest maps to play, and one of the least complex. Spiffle continues, eventually connecting things together. He buys a handcar to use to test the track, then once satisfied uses the handcar. He does however forget you are supposed to do some forestry to clear the way of the track, and derails the handcar. Blast it! I'm supposed to cut down trees, aren't I? Spiffle blinks, smacks himself in the face, and stares at the camera. Well, of course, you blue-coloured idiot. Trees aren't ghosts. You can't phase through them. Of course I need to cut the trees down and remove the rocks. Spiffle re-rails the handcar and sets it to low speed so he can see the track. Every time he comes across a tree too close to the track, he stops, cuts it down, then returns to the car. It isn't long before this becomes tedious, and he quickly learns trees can be cut remotely. Gods, if only it was this easy in reality, huh? He smiles with a certain grin of satisfaction as he stands in one spot and cuts half a forest down. He clicks, and a tree goes down. He goes weird again, his eyes getting a bit of that scary spark in them, and he starts to chuckle sadistically as he deforests the entire area around his track. A loud yell can be heard in the background, interrupting his disturbing chuckling. It appears to be a family member yelling at him to calm the hell down, or they call the funny police again. Spiffle apologizes in Eridani and blushes, making himself very small, and remembers this short moment of embarrassment. Okay, I think I cleared the track now. He smiles sheepishly as he surveys the landscape, now barren of trees, and returns to the depot. He moves the Montezuma and its tender together, and couples them after faffing about with how it works for about 5 minutes. Finally, he starts prepping the cars, buying 4 log cars, the big ones. After preparing them, he lets out an exasperated sigh, and has to wait for the steam pressure inside the train to build before he can carry on. Soon after, he finally gets going, coupling the cars, putting everything together, then chugging away to the logging camp. How long have I been playing so far? 3 hours?! Spiffle shakes his head and just carries on to the logging camp. He stops the train precisely, aligns the cars and loads up the 4 of them, taking a little while to do it. The motions of the cranes moving around, picking up a log, then the game's jank taking care of the log in the car, loading each one with 6 logs. Spiff sighs, then returns to the cabin and starts the train up again. Let's see. Check fuel. Put firewood. Release brake and set at 40% throttle. Then slow to 25% at the crossroad. Spiff follows the instructions he set himself on, and gets used to it. With nothing but the empty rail, no trees around, and the simple chug of the train, Spiff notices a sudden lack of things. Why does this feel so empty? Is it because I cut all the trees down? I mean, I feel fine. I feel nice. It's so peaceful. Why does this feel empty? Spiffle finds the whistle and gives it a tug, the train responding with a loud, sharp whistle, making him chuckle inanely like a kid in a sweet shop. He returns to the depot and offloads the cars, making back some of the money he spent on the cars. He takes a deep, long breath and plays his channel outro. Top comment. Good to see you're taking some time, Spiff. And also, seriously? You don't have trains? You seriously need to tell us how your logistics network worked back in the day. We can't imagine life without our trains. Great days and glorious victory! My name is Spifflemonk, and welcome back to Railroads Online. I have, taken some time away from doing things, and laid down some more tracks to more things. Spiffle sheepishly smiles at the playtime he has, 14 hours, and tries to distract the viewer with a silly screen transition, returning to the cabin of the Montezuma. He opens his map and starts to point out where the track he laid is, with telegram boxes pointing out major intersections, major locations, and essentially fast travel to every major point on the map. Now, I have the main depot here. There's a line to the logging camp down this way, then back up the main line towards the sawmill. Then a switch back here behind the sawmill to the planks and beams, then back to the depot on a separate line here. Simple, quick, easy. I did some more basic lines up this way towards the other spots. First of all, the iron mine. That was bloody annoying, but I managed it. The Montezuma can barely handle it, but today we shall be saving up money to buy a better train. Spiffle starts up the train, waits patiently, and does everything he can, readying himself. I was informed that I was not doing as asked, and have cleared any schedules I have for the day, besides some alarms, loud ones, that I have set so I know I still exist outside the game space. The first thing Spiffle does is start up the mixtape from Mr. Suicide Sheep. He starts it, puts his headphones on, and starts working. At first, he goes into his usual drone of explaining things. Then something in his demeanor changes. He gets lost in the music and simply, for lack of a better term, begins to vibe. It starts simply, at first. He just talks. Then after about 15 minutes and 2 loads of resources, he stops, just looking at the screen, simply carrying on as normal. Another 15 minutes pass and a particular song comes on, matching with the tempo of the train. Spiffle stops moving around in his seat as he loads up another bundle of logs to the sawmill. After offloading, he returns to the depot. Spiffle hum-sings along with the music in his head and returns to the depot, switching out for new cars that will hold planks and beams. He returns to the sawmill, collecting several loads of his hard work, then heads back to the depot. The entire time he is simply vibing to the moment. The playlist gets to a nice song with a good beat, and Spiff begins bopping along to the music, his head bobbing back and forth. He continues doing in silence for another half an hour, getting to level 3, and acquiring around $3,000 in currency. He ignores this and, seemingly under some kind of spell, carries on with the gameplay loop for the entire duration of the playlist. When the music finally stopped, he took his headphones off, took a deep breath, and looked at the clock. 2 hours? That was 2 hours? It felt like barely 10 minutes. Spiffle seemed genuinely shocked that much time has passed. He double-checks a few alarms he set, and true to form, just under 2 hours worth of time passed. I have never felt so calm, so at peace. All I was doing was hauling wood in a chuggy train. What kind of magic is this? Spiffle stood up out of his chair for a bit, seemingly genuinely distressed. He paces around the room and returns to his seat. Oh, I am so glad these are being recorded. When I show this to the council, they will send it to the scientists, and they will find out what kind of magic you creatures are up to. Spiff returns to the game, starting up the next playlist as requested, and starting a new run. This time transporting logs to the sawmill, then beams and planks to the iron mine and depot. The run is simple, but the next playlist, a form of old country music remixed with hybrid instrumentation, rock, pop and other things, seemed to affect Spiff in an entirely different way. What is this music? I can't say that I don't like it, but it's strange. I find it disturbing that I can be this level of calm for so long. Spiff continues his run and gets into the rhythm. He becomes affected by the music again, getting into the vibe. He becomes more reckless, more aggressive in driving, accelerating faster and braking harder than usual. He seems more focused, stronger and more prone to mistakes, but faster to recover from them. The music continues going, as does Spiffle, his body seeming to tense up and straighten, as if the songs are making his muscles have a workout. What is going on? What's in the blue blazes is happening? What are blue blazes? Why did I say that? Spiffle seems in a trance as he continues, finally finishing the playlist after 2 hours. The entire time he is in relative silence, his expression in a grimace of determination and strength. By this point, he has, in his strange music-induced trance, acquired a further $3,500 and ascended to level 6. He finally notices, checks the time and has another short freakout. This time he stands up and is covered in his species' version of sweat. His muscles are visibly pulsing, as if the music has him hyped as all hell. What is this magic? Why do I feel so tired but excited? This is just supposed to be a game about trains! Why does it feel like I have just dragged a trunket up a hill? What is this? Spiffle grabs the camera and rants into it for a few moments. A female Eridani appears in the room with an angry expression on her face and stares at the sweaty blue alien. Very clearly one can see from various adornments that it's Spiffle's wife. A combination of Spiffle's relaxing muscles, his heavy breathing, sweaty form, and the pheromone now coming from him, drives his lovely wife insane. Her expression instantly switches from anger to lust, and with a sinister smile she pounces on the poor bastard. No, my love, stop! I'm still recording! Gary, I'm so sorry! Please, for the love of God, edit this out! The editor graciously skips this bit and displays a message on the screen. What I had to remove here will haunt me for the remainder of my eternity, both in this life and the next. Fuck you, Spiff. lock your damn door, and soundproof your office. Top comment. Well, Spiff, I think we found your species equivalent of an aphrodisiac. Maybe it would be an idea for you to not get that pumped up in future. Try chillwave next time. It's more your speed, I think. Great days and glorious victory. My name is Spifflemonk and welcome back to Railroads Online. I was eaten by a ghost leviathan a few minutes ago, and I am still shaking. So I shall now play with trains. Spiffle displays what is clearly a shaky hand and a very fake smile, and begins the next playlist, this time going through the motions of buying a new train. He has a new playlist, a chillwave 80s version, only an hour or so long. Well, during my, human magic-induced musical hypnosis, I apparently got a lot done in very short order. So I not only have new things to buy, I have more than enough money to buy them. Let's see, what should I get? Spiffle works a bit and looks through the list of locomotives and cars for a while, before eventually settling on a Tier 6 train called the D&RG Class 70. Ooh, I like the design on this one. It's very pretty. Tractive effort and weight I don't care. Look pretty! Mine now! Spiffle spends the $5,600 on it, unaware he has the option of customization when it comes to trains, including workshop skins and paint jobs or custom character models. Through this entire process, one can clearly see him still shaking from his encounter in Subnautica, and he carefully sets up the new train. Oh my god, that is pretty. What's the fuel though? Oh, good. Wood. Don't need to go for the coal mine too much then, except for deliveries. So, the planned route today is logging camp, the sawmill, then the iron mine. After that, pick up iron ore and get it to the smelter. This is a very involved process. Humans had trains to cope, I guess. Spiffle gets on the train and sets everything up, this time going the smart way and installing a third-party extension, Railroads Online Extended, which shows a map. He tabs out, giving everyone a look at the spaghetti maze that his track has become, with 3 different lines of rail leading to different places, and each one converging at a central location near the depot and sawmill. Disgusting, isn't it? And yes, I do remember. A subscriber once asked me how we coped as a civilization without trains or these kinds of mass transit. We did not, really, but we developed a form of biofuel and used that in large cargo carriers like your big rig trucks. We built them specialized roadways and tunnel networks so they wouldn't be in the same traffic as yours is though, so the flow of our civilization's blood kept going. As air travel became more prevalent, we started to develop better and faster engines, eventually phasing out those trucks entirely, shortly before we entered space. Spiffle explains all this while heading to the logging camp, now towing 4 log cars, 2 flat cars for beams, 2 flat cars for rails, 2 hoppers for ore, 2 cars for rails, 2 for cordwood, and 1 car for oil, with 3 more cars for later. Right, off we go! Spiff emits a childish giggle as he lets the whistle sing, then starts moving the train. The train is strongly built and powerful, and Spiff makes short work of the journey to the logging camp. Spiff loads up all the logs, heads to the sawmill and miscalculates. He takes a relatively tight corner far too fast and the train derails. Locomotive and tender plus all 18 cars come off the track and are strewn about. Spiffle himself is cursed by the game's physics engine and gets yeeted into the stratosphere. What the hell oh, by all the gods, what the hell? Why am I flying? Spiff panics and tries to do anything, but his fate is sealed and he is unable to stop himself being thrown from the sawmill to the iron ore mine. His character bounces off a tree and lands harmlessly, albeit very far away. He checks the third-party app and displays all the cars he has strewn rudely about that general area. Okay then. Okay. How the hell did I end up here? It's okay, I can just fast travel. Thank God I put those telegraph offices everywhere. Right, off we go. I hope the load I was carrying doesn't also get lost. But note it for the future. I shall need to moderate my speed. Spiff travels and finds himself at the scene of the crime, and laments at the damage. He painstakingly goes through to each one, remembering what order it was put, then re-railing it on the track. Some forms of the game's engine do not allow him to do it the way he wants, forcing him to make empty lines of track to store cars on the side, as he slowly reassembles the train. "Gosh, this is so messy. Yeesh." He laments at the task and spends a good 20 minutes whining, before restoring the train to its former glory, getting panicky at the last part, when the jankiness sends his character flying again, but thankfully not derailing the train. He carries on where he left off and tries better, to moderate his speed. "Right, so obviously that was too fast. What did I have it on? Throttle at 55%, I think. I thought I would need more power for this kind of load, so I pushed it a bit too far. Train may be more powerful than I thought. So, throttle 25% and ready the brakes when needed. I can fiddle with those to be better aware of my speed." Spiff carries on his run and settles in, changing his style up a bit to make the deliveries faster. The power and torque lets him effortlessly navigate the spaghetti maze of rails he had to build to climb the mountain and deliver the beams and wood to the ore mine, then collect a load of ore. By this point, he has started the playlist he was given, and has settled into a mellow groove, bopping along to the song. He is grinning inanely and suddenly stops. He gets out of his chair and starts to dance to the groove of 80s chillwave as he drives the train. It isn't much, but he is very clearly enjoying himself, as goofy as it is. He is very much in the groove, so into it he is able to sense when the train needs to slow or speed that his dance moves fit seamlessly, reaching over to pump the brakes or hit the throttle. With the level of concentration and Spiff's goofy dancing, he finishes the task in short order, and before the playlist ends is filling barrels of oil. He continues to dance and delivers a barrel of oil to the depot. There he stops, sits down again and looks at the camera. "Why do I like this so much? Why is this so relaxing? I sent that playlist to the council. There is no magic, it's just music. Just music. I will be doing this again. It seems Subnautica will terrify me a bit more. Maybe there are other relaxing games like this." Spiffle slowly gains a genuine, warm smile as his channel outro plays. Top comment: Power Wash Simulator, Lawnmower Simulator. Those games are nothing but pure catharsis, without the psychotic destruction you seem so fond of with Teardown. Lol. Spiffle's response: "What the hell is a power wash? Or a lawnmower for that matter? Why'd you keep making me so confused?" Commenter: "Trust us, Spiff. If you have any need to relax, those two are your definite go-tos. Do it. We are thine audience. We demand it."